Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
So we recently were informed of another cool upcoming horror film, The R.I.P. Man, from the writer and director of The Cellar, which we talked about recently, Jamie Langlands. And with us today is one of the stars of that film, UK-based actress Jasmine Kheeen. So welcome to the show.
Hiya, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, thanks for coming on. I hope I pronounced the name right. It seems pretty straightforward, so.
Yeah, you do. It's just got like a random H in there, which I don't know why it's there, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
well,
Keen.
yeah, I figured I kind of silenced the H for myself, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Um, So, of course, we'll talk a little bit about R.I.P. Man, but before we get into that, if you'd like to introduce yourself, kind of let our listeners know a little bit about yourself and how you kind of got into the film business.
Sure. So I am a London-based actress. I'm originally from Norway. Um, Growing up, I've done like some theater and stuff like that, and my mom used to act when I was really young. And so I think that's sort of just I've always been around acting and creatives, and I think that really encouraged me to pursue a field in acting. And so I've been out of uni now for 2 years. I came here to the UK when I was 18, and I went to Met Film School. So I graduated there with a bachelor in screen acting, and since then I've just been, doing some short films here and there. I'm currently writing my own film,
Oh,
working
nice.
on developing my skills and everything, and then obviously I'm lucky to get to be a part of this film that we're here to talk about today. And so yeah.
Nice, nice. So we usually do a little research on our guests before, and I saw that you have a background also in dance and martial arts, which is very
I
impressive. So I hope I didn't embarrass you with any of that, but
Thank you.
but
No, no, no. So yeah, because I used to dance when I was younger. So when I was like, I think it started when I was 10 or 11, or maybe even younger. I can't even remember. But I went to this dance school, which I really loved because it was all about not dancing to be perfect, but dancing because you love it. And so
that's
that
cool.
really encouraged me to, I danced a lot, a lot, a lot. And I did several different types of genres, but I really felt at home with contemporary dance, even though I tried Latin, I tried hip hop, I tried ballet. I
Oh,
was in a
wow.
dance company as well. Yeah, and so it's something I would like to pick up again. I ended up being in a couple musicals in Spain because I lived there for some of my teen years. So there's this
Wow.
British theater, so I did a musical there. Um, and with martial arts, so before I went to uni, I was very in between going to the army or pursuing acting. And life ended up sort of choosing my path for me. Um, and so I think like the discipline and the combat and everything that comes with being in the army sort of inspired me to pick up martial arts and want to go into the action and horror genres because they sort of combine my two passions in life. And so yeah, so I've done Muay Thai for I think I did it for about half a year, a little bit more, and then I'm taking a break currently just because of time, really.
Yeah,
It's very time.
well, it's impressive to me because that you learned all these different dances when I can't even do any kind of dance where they even give like the instructions, when they're like left foot, to the left or whatever that one, the slide or whatever. Whenever they're literally giving you the instructions, I can't figure out how to coordinate myself into that. So,
No, but it can be a lot. It took me a while, and especially with the different genres as well. Some of them are so hard to get. On set recently, the sound guy was trying to teach me salsa because he's like a salsa teacher. And even though I've done a type of Latin dance before in my younger years, I struggled so much to get the steps with the hips and they, I don't know why, but some things are just harder than others as well. I think you just got to find your genre.
yeah. Um, and to the martial arts is probably because that because acting can for roles can be competitive, so it's probably good you have an edge to kind of like fight someone if they try and take your role or something. No.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I could just knock them out.
Yeah, you need
Be
that you
like,
need
oh,
that little
sorry,
kick.
you don't have a choice anymore.
But
Um,
so But actually, have you used those skills? Because I know you did one for the dance, which I saw kind of. I saw that little Suspiria-based short film that you did, which was really good.
Oh,
And so do you think that like having those skills will kind of open up some additional projects, or do you have plans for to use those in?
I mean, I hope so. I think dance and fighting in film is very commonly used. And I love films such as like The Black Swan is
Oh
so
yeah, that was
gorgeous to
good.
me. Yeah, and the fact that sorry, what's her name again? The actress in that.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, Natalie Portman, obviously.
Oh,
The fact that she had to go through so much training and ballet training for that is so inspiring. I love that you can develop and pick up new skills through acting. And so I'm really hoping to be able to use more of that in the future. Um,
nice.
yeah, so Suspiria was actually my grad project, and I kind of wanted
Yeah, yeah.
to,
So you wrote and
yeah,
directed that and been in it. That's impressive.
yeah, it was really fun. The grad our grad module during uni was very hectic because we all got to the end of our course, and all of us actors were like, "Wait, we don't have a show reel.
Mm.
What do we do?" And so basically, all of our grad project pretty much was just trying to get together a show reel, and so we wrote all these little shorts. That we could film in a day, basically. Um, and so Suspiria was one of them because it's my favorite movie, and I wanted to do something similar to that, and hopefully
Have
in the
you seen
future.
both versions or?
I have. So the script that I used, I didn't write the Suspiria short. I slightly modified the script, but I
Oh,
chose a scene from the new Suspiria film and modified that because I hadn't seen it at the time, and I didn't want to
oh,
do
okay.
something I'd already seen. Um, And so after I'd done that scene that we written, I went to watch it and I was like very pleasantly surprised.
Mm.
I don't know. Have you seen both of them?
Yeah, I have. It's been a bit since I've seen the original. And
Yeah.
I only saw the new one once, so I need to rewatch that though. I kind of saw it right when it kind of came home to Blu-ray, so I don't remember as much as I probably should about it. But you see so many films, having to do a horror podcast, you end up watching way more. Like last year, we did this thing, and Tim and I both regret this, but it was fun. But we did this thing. It was the 365 horror challenge, where you had to watch 365, which last year, basically with the extra day, was 366. You didn't have to watch it every day. You just had to have a total of 366 by the end of the year. And yeah, and we added the little extra challenge of making it one that we hadn't seen before. So
Oh
that
shoot.
will yeah, that will kind of get into your head, trying to remember what you even saw. Like there's a movie I almost watched, like I watched at the beginning of the challenge, and then I went to watch it again the second time. I said, "Oh wait, I saw this already."
Yeah, no,
It's
no,
like,
but it's hard to remember when there's so many movies, and like throughout in general as well, but I can imagine that's intense.
yeah,
That's
no,
really
yeah, no, it was a rough one. I definitely did not do that this year. I'm like, I can't. And it's funny, we both got agreed. We're kind of like need a break from watching horror movies, and I'm like, I said that's great what you want to hear from your horror podcast host, but we'll still watch
Exactly. No,
some,
no, but it can be too much. It can be too much. It was like in uni, they were always like assigning us these really, really great masterpieces, but they were all like 3 hours long,
Oh,
very heavy content. And it got to the point where I was so tired of just watching depressing, great movies, but very depressing, very heavy to digest that after uni, I was just like on my anime, my K-drama, comedies that I don't usually watch, but I was just like, I need something simpler to digest, basically, because it can be too much of the good.
yeah, no, and
Yeah,
it was like I was even getting like, there was like other regular movies I just couldn't catch up on. We couldn't catch up on because of that.
exactly. And it's already so hard to like, because you want to watch as many movies as you can, but obviously life gets in the way a lot of the time. And
Yeah.
but that's impressive. Did you guys complete it?
Yes, we did. We did. I think I managed to finish literally like day before I had to. And the funniest thing is, right before I did, it was the 30th, literally December 30th. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to do it on New Year's because we had family over, we wanted to celebrate. We had some plans and stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it finish the day before. So I did one final check and realized I had skipped one and I was one short. And I had to cram a quick one in right at the
Oh
the
my
evening of the
God.
30th. but I did it, so it was okay. Tim finished much earlier than me. He was better, and I wanted actually to time it. So we both wanted to time it, but we couldn't. Didn't work out. Where Nosferatu, the new one, was going to be our
Your
final one, because I
final
went and saw it
one.
on Christmas Day actually, because our
Oh,
family was like scattered this year a little bit, so we did kind of more Christmas Eve celebration, and then so my wife and I
yeah,
went on actual Christmas Day. The first time I had seen a movie on Christmas Day, and I don't know how long, but it was kind of cool
yeah.
to go see. Especially something like Nosferatu, which was so good. So,
Oh, that's sick. I actually haven't seen it yet, but
oh,
I
you gotta
really
see.
want to because I've heard so many good things about it. But it came out here on New Year's Day,
Oh,
actually.
nice, nice. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
go see it. I think you'll like really, really, especially with, I know you, it's kind of funny because it kind of touched on my next section. Because I saw that one of the things you also studied was, and if this is the bio was wrong, I apologize, but it said you studied psychology and art as well too. And this film is very artistic and really beautifully shot. So,
Yeah, no, I mean from the trailers and like everything I've seen and I really do have a feeling I'm gonna love it. And from what everyone's been telling me. But yeah, no, I did A-level psychology and art. Because I thought like the British school system is really weird because for high school you basically choose all of your subjects and it's normal to
cool.
choose maybe four and then some people drop the fourth one or choose five and then drop one. And so for me it was like drama and psychology and then art because I thought they would all blend into sort of what I was doing. It's all areas that interest me. And I think it gives you a different perspective when it comes when you like as a creative and it gives you so many tools that you can apply. So yeah, I'm very happy I did that.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you found a way to do it. And it seems like you have already, because seems like it's a conscious decision, that you have these skills and you kind of plan to apply them in the world of art. Because I mean, obviously, like any kind of movie or show or any kind of creative project, it's not just like one facet. You just do go and you get influence from all kinds of things. So it's really impressive. Did you have such a vast like scale of things that could help you create stuff?
That's very flattering. I feel like you're overhyping me here.
No, no, no. Well, I do tend to, as I like to say, my it's a Yiddish kind of term, fel, which is like, praise and and about something. But yeah, no, it's really, and just I've seen a couple of your different pieces on YouTube, but I saw, and all of them have been very impressive. So.
Oh,
Definitely
thank
looking
you.
forward to R.I.P. man. When we'll get into that, I promise we're gonna get there. But but before we get there though, so obviously we just kind of discussed how not only do you act in there, but you can write, you direct, and as we saw some films, you do all three. So it's kind of a two-part question. So do you prefer any one of those hats to speak of over the other, or two, if you by doing all three? Do you feel like you have an overall better perspective on filmmaking in general?
I think it's important to understand everything that's going on set in order to be a good colleague, really, in any type of position. And I think that's what I did appreciate about my degree is that because it was a film school, we had to make our own productions, and so we had to learn all these different skills of editing and writing and how it goes from pre-production to filming to post-production and learn the whole thing. And I think nowadays as well, it's very important to be able to create your own opportunities if they aren't there. Um, and I think it's also good as an actor because it's easy to be boxed into things and to be able to sort of go out and do your own thing. I mean, Dev Patel did it with Monkey Man.
Yeah.
And like watching him do that was just, it's incredible. And I met the his co-writer on that and just hearing him talk about, how passionate they were about getting out of these boxes um for that he's being put in because of his background and you know um it was just incredibly inspiring. And so I think I really quite enjoyed doing first ADing actually
Oh
because
wow. Okay.
it's
And
fun
that's
because
one I
you
didn't mention. No,
yeah no but I feel like it's the most one of the most logical roles on set where you're not really thinking about the creative aspect of it. You are, but you're very much worried about the schedule and everyone's safety and that things are getting done on time. And I do think I have a part in me that likes to be a planner, and I think ADing sort of allows me to step into that persona Whereas with directing and writing, it is very like creative, but you at the same time have a lot of responsibility, and you could draw a lot of lines between acting and directing and writing, really, and cinematography as well. But I am currently writing a project that I'm hoping to develop in the future. I'm
Nice.
just, yeah. But I think my main passion, that was a long answer, sorry.
No, no, it
Uh,
was a two-part long question. Trust me.
yeah. My main passion is in acting, but I'm definitely interested in the other areas of film as well.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to what you come up and create with, and I hope you keep in touch with us when that comes out, so you can, if you want to come on and help promote it, we'll help spread the word.
Definitely, that would be amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. So finally, now we're gonna get into R.I.P. Man a bit, which
Yeah,
so I know it's kind of it's still early on. You're still kind of in production of it. I did see the I guess that concept short they sent us. It was like an 8 minute long, like I guess the opening scene, which looked really impressive already. Fortunately, you were not in that scene. I didn't see you in the scene yet, but but I'm looking forward to seeing this. So what can you tell us about the project so far?
yeah. So basically, the R.I.P. Man is about this killer on the loose who's going after this group of teenage friends, or I mean, early 20s uni friends. And Detective Mullen is trying to figure out who this killer is and his motivations. My character, Clarissa, she's in this friendship group that is being haunted or hunted, sorry. And now this killer is kind of peculiar because he has a rare dental condition called anodontia. And it's this condition where you're born without teeth. And so to sort of finish off his killings, he likes to collect his victims' teeth.
Mm. Yeah, I noticed he has in the. I hope that's not too much of a spoiler. I mean, it's in the trailer. He's got the mouth where it like says his name on it and everything. He's got the mouth guard, and
Yeah.
I know that will freak me because one of the number one things, at least I know over here in the States, dental visits are traumatizing for so many people, including myself. And I have to go on Monday to do something, and I'm already like I've been thinking about it for the past 3 weeks. I've been so nervous. So
I can
probably
imagine.
was not the thing I should have watched, right? A couple
Yeah,
days before I go,
they're working. Yeah, that's
but it means it's working. It's effective. It's a good thing to scare people. So what was it when you I guess when you got the word of it, what was the thing that attracted you to about this project?
yeah, I think so I'm a big fan of the first Scream movie, and one of the inspirations for the film is Scream. I
Oh,
really
okay,
like the
good.
concept of it being, a slasher, not the type of Terrifier slasher, but more of a Scream slasher, where, it's quite unique with the dental aspect of it, and it touches on themes of revenge and abandonment and the current healthcare crisis as well. So I think even though, yeah, the movie is fun, it has a lot of depth to it if you look sort of past um, the surface of it, I guess.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I mean it seems to be almost like a signature thing for Jamie because the seller had a lot of that in it too. So and I know he just did that one, which was really good.
mm.
Um, so what else can you tell us about your character? Like, do you have any like fight sequences that you could share yet, or?
I wish
You don't
no.
have to tell us if you make it out alive or not. I know
Yeah,
that's a
no,
big
that I won't
challenge. Yes, don't tell us that
That's a
yet.
secret, unfortunately.
Yes.
No, so the movie is due to release in the summer. So I guess you'll find out then. But
Mm.
um, so my character Clarissa, like I said, she's a part of this friendship group, and she is the girlfriend of another character in this group called Donnie, played by Maximus Pauling. She is what I really like about her is that she is quite a strong. It's wrong to say maternal, but she's a very caring person. She's very ambitious, she's very hardworking, and if she likes you, she'll, go to the end of the world for you, basically.
Nice.
And so I think what's really interesting is seeing her go through these events, I guess, that are happening around her, and sort of see how that affects her as a character who's usually fairly stoic about how she feels and how it's tearing so much on her mental health that she's sort of starting to slip a little bit.
Oh, that sounds really
Um,
interesting.
yeah, no, she's I feel like there are a lot of aspects of her that I can really relate to. Um, and which is why I was very happy to be cast as that
Mm.
character because the casting process was actually quite peculiar, I guess, compared to other castings. Because we were all like, I think 6 out of about 400 plus applications, we were all invited to a pub with Jamie
Wow.
and Reese, the producer. Yeah. And we all just like had a drink together, spoke about the script. They got to see sort of how we interacted and everything, and we didn't really know. Obviously, we applied to be a part of it, but I don't think it was 100% clear which character that they were going to finalize, like finally put us in, or yeah.
That's just
So I
a
was really
cool way
happy.
to do it.
Huh? Yeah,
That sounds that'd be fun. I mean, like, imagine like I know like because I have some friends, who are actors, and they, they say like sometimes the audition and the self tapes or whatever you have to do is such a like a stressful thing. I mean, imagine just going to a bar and like having a drink, being yourself, and then say, okay, I like you, you're in that role. It's like that's
right.
great.
No, exactly. It really takes the nerves out of it. And I was a bit like, well, what is this? Like, what are we doing today? Are they going to give me a script and I'm going to have to act this out in a bar? Or but they didn't at all. It was really chill. It was really fun, and I think it also helped build that the chemistry, the friendship chemistry within like the friendship group. Because then when we got on set about a week later of being cast, it just felt like we had been friends for years, which was
Oh,
great.
nice.
And I think it's really important.
Yeah, no, and what it sounds like your character is going to be definitely one of the fan favorites. I have a feeling so, and everybody's going to be rooting for you in this. And what I think is good too is like it sounds like you're like already that without even seeing much of the movie because I always saw the opening scene, so I know what happens to that person. But 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 it's like just it's kind of like very encouraging too, because most of the time, so many people they're not going to slashes is you got a bunch of people and you just can't wait till they get off and stuff. And I think like people movies like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, those 90s horror films started to introduce these characters where you kind of really get invested in them and you kind of really find someone to kind of latch on to and you don't want them just off all the time. You're interested to see what they're going to do. And people get like now more angry when like one of their favorite characters is gone, and so it's like it's kind of cool and it sounds like Jazz Jamie definitely went that approach and from what you're telling me it seems like you guys are going to have a really fun cast.
Oh, 100%. Everyone's been so lovely to work with. And I mean, that I think also with films, like that's all you can hope for, isn't it? 'Cause have you watched films? I'm sure you have, where you just like you just don't really care what's happening if someone's being offed or and it's so sad because you want to care.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all you can really hope for, and that's what we're all hoping for with the R.I.P. man, that it'll be, engaging characters that people can relate to, um, in some way. Um, and yeah.
Oh yeah, no, especially when you watch, as I mentioned earlier, too. I don't know if that'll part will make the interview. I think it might have been before we started, but when you watch that, the 366 horror movies in a year, you tend to get those ones where I'm just like, oh my God, I hate every one of these characters. I want them all gone. I want my hour and a half back, and I, it's,
Might
but
have been an enjoyable experience at that point.
yeah. So yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like yeah, so I'm like this you've already hitting the marks of how more I can't wait to see this movie. So it'd
But
be really cool. So I understand right now, and I don't know if you're involved too much in this part, but if whatever you can share about it. So while it's in production, I feel like I think it's in kind of the Indiegogo process still, right? It's still in the crowdsource funding part.
yeah, so what we're doing is sort of filming as we go. So the crowdfunder has been up and they did the short film to promote it and everything, or the first couple of scenes. And then we've sort of been trying to promote it while we're filming it. And so it's still possible while we're still filming, it's still possible to go and support the project on the Indiegogo site.
Great.
Um,
Yeah, I'll make sure we share that in the show notes.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, because we're like I think 70-80% done filming. We only have a couple of days left now. And so my next filming date is going to be my last one, but it's coming up soon, which is exciting, but also sad, you know?
Yeah.
So it
Well,
has
it's
been
horror
quite
movies. There could be an R.I.P. Man too. You never know. It's always sequels.
exactly. No, I mean, we hope so. That would be great. I mean, if it's well received, which we're all hoping for, but yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna help make sure I go on the site, and I saw the site a little bit, but I didn't really have time to go into too much. But I would like to. I always like to contribute something. Whether even if it's like, I feel like it's like I know some people feel like you have to donate like $1,000 to make a difference on the film. When we've had so many film makers and guests on that have been that have the crowdfunding sources to as their disposal, and they tell you they literally like hammer it down that every little bit helps. Like a $25 donation could, like, I don't know, pay for like a cruise lunch sometimes. You never know. Any little bit like that can help make a project better is good. So I always try and donate at least something on these things, and I try and encourage everyone else that will can stand to listen to me. To do the same, because it's really fun, and it feels like you're part of something. Like our podcast has been in some credits before, but because I would donate at that level just to see it, and it like kind of gives me. I'm like, oh wow, that's good. I did something to help these creators like lived it part of their dream. It's like, to me, that's I don't care what kind of perk I get out of it. It's more just the knowing that like I helped something, and I help, like, people like yourself and Jamie, who, like, trying to get their voice out there. And that's why we, like, Tim and I, we focus a lot on a lot of independent films, and we try and always, like, we've had so many people reach out to us. We're like, absolutely, come on, let's like go, let's help you get this film going, kind of thing. I mean, if we help even like the slightest bit, I feel like accomplished.
No, but that's so kind, and it's so much appreciated because, like you said, every little bit helps, and we've had so many people support it already, which we're so grateful for because it is literally, making us able to pursue our passion and our dream, and um, there's so much heart and soul being poured into these projects, and so yeah, every little bit matters and helps and is very much appreciated. So yeah.
So, okay, all our listeners listening to that, you hear that? Jasmine made such a nice plea. So help us. Let's help her out, the R.I.P. man. Not him personally, because I don't like what he does, but in general, the film.
Every villain has backstory. Bless
Yeah,
him.
I know. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, based on
They
what you
have
said,
their
see, I didn't
reasons.
know that was. I see. I didn't get that for the trailer, so you already gave me a good little nugget. Like, now I'm gonna feel a little bad for him now, and I feel guilty. I said I wasn't gonna help him, but you know.
No, but I think
Tim
it's
would be like
important.
just
We all
rolling
need
his
to add
eyes
some
now
depth
because
to
he's
them.
like, he always knows I feel guilty about everything I have nothing to do with, but you know.
Oh,
Um, next, of course, since this is a horror movie podcast, and I'm sure I know you've been on some podcasts before, so you probably always get this, but and I know you kind of touched a little bit on it, but what are some of course, your favorite horror films that are out there or that inspired you?
I think Suspiria, the 70s version by Dario Argento is my all-time favorite, just
Oh,
because it's
nice, nice.
so, it's not necessarily scary, but there's something so ominous about it, and the deaths are done so creatively and well, where they're like excruciating but beautiful almost in a way. Um, it's very artistic, and I also really love um Aronofsky films.
Oh
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
Mother with Jennifer Lawrence, I thought was brilliant. I wanted to fucking punch the screen the whole time watching it. It was so excruciating. And even thinking about the movie now, I'm getting that like icky feeling that was sat with throughout the whole film, um, of just feeling so much for Jennifer Lawrence's character, and just wanting to help her so bad and get her out of that situation. I think he does that so well in his films where it's like it's not necessarily a bunch of locations, but it feels very suffocating almost what the character is going through and the circumstances. And it's like you just want to reach through the screen and help them. But yeah. He's
Yeah.
one of my all-time favorites.
Oh yeah, no, he's incredibly impressive. Actually, I saw the last film of his I saw. You're gonna laugh what it was. It was in Las Vegas, that Sphere. I don't know if you heard about that.
Really?
He did a film there, and it was
What?
funny. I was like, I totally want to see that because I want to see what he does with that kind of like
No
format.
way.
and it's incredible because I mean the format itself is incredible. I mean, I see people arguing about the cost, and I get that. Like I think our
Yeah.
tickets for it, like I mean, it was a bunch of my high school friends. We all went, so it was kind of a celebratory kind of thing. So I'm like, whatever it
Yeah.
costs, I'll deal with it later, kind of thing. It was I think it was like 145 or something to
That's
see this. Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of impressive. Like, I know my
yeah.
brother, he saw I think what did he see? I think he saw the Grateful Dead like concert film there. But this thing
Oh,
was is
wow.
funny too because you're in the middle of this thing and it starts off and I'm like, all right, I've seen IMAX. Let me see how good this is. And it's just on the
Yeah.
screen, like not filling it all. And I'm like, and it kind of only went a
Oh,
little bit over our heads. I said, are we getting gypped here? I said, what is this? And then it just opens up, and this thing is incredible. I mean, it feels like you're moving, and we were pretty high up.
yeah.
And so people that are not a fan of heights or motion may want to like double check before they go see this, but it is really cool. And I'm like I can't wait till see what else they put in that format. Like I'd love to see like a cool horror movie in that kind of format because that'd be crazy.
Wow. Yeah, because I've never been to the Sphere. I bet that's an incredible experience.
Oh yeah,
That is a
it
lot
is
of money
cool.
though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you could get
Yeah,
cheaper tickets. We got kind of we wanted to get like
sure.
we're here, we might as well get the center
Exactly. You want
right
to get the good
one.
tickets when you're
Yeah.
there.
Plus
Yeah,
in
no, I get
Vegas, you tend to spend money that you have the hopes you'll get it back in some kind of bet, but not always the
that. Does it happen
case.
for you?
Not this time. Actually, the last the last two times did not do that well. I think I kind of broke even the one
Gosh.
time, but the most recent time I did not do well. But it's funny,
Well,
not that.
third time's the charm, right?
Well, I was gonna say the first time I had gone a couple years ago was about I was about 2 years ago, and I hadn't been there in forever. And it was our first high school meet. We were all turning 50. So we went and so we all went to celebrate that one, and we'd all chipped in and placed a sports bet, and like ended up somehow hitting this like six things right, and won a combined. We won like $7,000 that we split,
Oh,
basically paid
wow.
for our rooms. Yeah, so that was good. But I knew after that I was gonna have trouble ever kind of coming close to that, and yeah,
Yeah.
since then I've been like, yeah. So I'm sure
Well,
that's what
maybe
you want to
next
hear, right?
time. Maybe
Next
next
time.
time.
Yes. Well,
I mean, that's
Tim,
the mentality they want you to have at least. They're like, no, next time, next
yeah,
time.
exactly. Yeah. Well, I do get good
It
room
sounds
perks out
like
of it,
good
but
fun though.
yeah, no, it is. And for Tim's actually, Tim just turned 50, but we kind of delayed his trip just due to time frame. But we're gonna try and go for his birthday this summer, our
Oh,
group of
nice.
friends. So hopefully, yeah, that should be fun. So maybe I'll do better. Maybe with your direction, I'll do much better this time.
I'm sure you will. We're manifesting it for you.
Okay, thank you.
What's your
And
favorite horror film then? Out of
uh, so
curiosity.
so
You've
my
seen so many
favorite.
now.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like my top five tends to fluctuate, and like it. But I
Of
mean,
course.
definitely, I would say overall, like, okay, what's your name? I'm gonna probably go with the original Halloween, just because
Mhm.
it was one of the first horror movies I had ever seen, and I remember I was watching it as a kid, and I saw it on TV, like it was on, like the
Mhm.
regular TV. I remember one time, and my mom, much to my mom's chagrin, I think the babysitter at the time, what was I say? Oh my God, I was, 8, 7 years old when I saw that. So, um,
Mhm.
so I got to, so it's like to me, I'm like, oh my God, this is really cool. But like, what did I know as a little kid, right? But I didn't realize that. I just started to seek out horror films after that, and I realized something about it just like drew it to me. And then, so it's like I kind of always have to give that credit. But I'll also like one of the other ones I'll put in, which some people don't always classify this as a horror film, and I don't know why, because and I always have the same argument when people say it's not, but is the original Jaws, I think is a just a masterpiece.
Killer
It's like a
film.
near perfect film to me. So, so I'll put
It is
those two up there.
incredible. I
Yeah.
think Jaws will always have like a soft spot in my heart. It's such a like, I mean, it's incredible what they managed to achieve with what they had at the time. And no, I think it's an incredibly well movie for what it is. And is it a little bit silly? Yeah, but so is every single shark movie. And you can't have aspects of like comedy or things that are funny in horror films. I think they're so important to sort of alleviate the some of the scarier parts. And all horror films don't have to be like terrifying screaming. But it's interesting what
Yeah.
you said about watching Halloween so young. Because I think there's something about watching horror films as a kid that is so amazing and that you can like never really experience again because you're so immersed in what's happening, thinking
Yeah.
it's real almost.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
and I
whereas it's kind of harder nowadays to be
oh
as
yeah,
immersed at times.
yeah, no, and there's, after that, I remember still there was like there's certain things in horror movies still kind of creep me out to this day, but like I'll still nothing really. It's like hard to really give me a scare these days because you kind of see so much of it. But I remember like watching the original Friday the 13th because once I got cable, that was the end of it. I had access to all this horror I wanted, and I remember I would watch the original Friday the 13th over and over again every time it was on, and the one part for some reason as a kid I didn't. Now I like look at it, I'm like, why did this bother me? But I
Mm,
hated the scene where the girl got the axe in the face, and I don't know why because I guess at that point I had never seen anything of that kind of level of gore, you know.
yeah,
And so I remember like, well, hopefully I won't like, I remember one time I was still watching it late at night too, and I was like freaking myself out. I'm like, I don't want to. Maybe I'll fall asleep before that scene, but no, still got to see it.
no,
But now
there.
I laugh at that. But like, and also like the original. I don't know if you saw the miniseries version of Salem's Lot.
I
Um,
haven't. No,
oh, you got to see that. So
is it good?
there's a sequence in there that like to this day still creeps me out.
Yeah,
So I think you could probably find it on some of the streaming services. If I find it later, I'll send you a message about
please
it
do.
because
Yeah, bring it
it's
down.
yeah, I mean the remake was good and then the modified version was still okay, but the mini series was good because it kind of fleshed out and it was on regular TV, and so
Mm,
like you don't expect to see something that frightening on a movie of the week kind of thing, and so
yeah.
that was definitely a cool one too. But so here's another fun question. I hope it's fun. I think you'll like it. So as we mentioned before, you have several talents in all different facets of filmmaking. So if you were to have access to unlimited budget, resources, whatever you need, basically, like what would your dream project be to make?
Ooh, that's a really, really good question. I think honestly, like a space horror film with
Oh,
like
that's
a lot of
interesting.
action sequences. Because I know that SpaceX, I believe they're working on getting actors and crews into actual space.
Oh, wow.
And so if that was an option to film an actual horror alien inspired film in actual space, I think that'd be absolutely incredible.
You definitely, but yeah, you'll definitely need this kind of format because an Indiegogo for that might be hard, I don't.
No, 100%, but that's with unlimited
Yeah.
budget. You
No,
already said it.
yeah, no, and I love it too because you took it exactly the way I wanted to. It's supposed to be like in a world where like, you know what, you just can keep going to that ATM and money keeps coming out and people are on board and in your case they'll be giving you the
That'll be a great
rockets to
one.
launch up and and the whole thing.
Yep.
So so to wrap things up, I guess, before we let you go, so where can if you want to share listeners where they can follow your career, see your other previous films, kind of follow the R.I.P. man and stuff, and anything like that you want to share?
I try to keep updated on my work and stuff on Instagram, which is just Jasmine Keen. And then I'm on IMDb as well and YouTube. I have a YouTube channel where I occasionally upload short scenes that I do with my friends as like acting exercises or yeah, but mostly Instagram and YouTube is probably where you'll be able to find me and stuff.
Yeah, I think I followed you followed you on Instagram and I followed your YouTube. That's where I saw some of your really cool projects.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, so thank you so much for coming on. It's been a true delight to talk to you because I love to when we get to chat with people that like just you can tell just have such a love and passion for the craft, and you could see it in like every one of your answers really that you're just like you just love the opportunities you're getting with this and how you can give your creativity to all these different things.
Thank you very much. No, it's been lovely chatting to you, and thank you for the kind words as well.
Oh, of course. And yeah, I hope you're welcome on. As I mentioned earlier, whenever you want have a project you want to help promote, just reach out to us and we'll happy to have you on. Or if timing doesn't work and you just need us to get something out there verbally, as you can see, I talk a lot, so I can definitely get that out for you.
No, that's great. Thank you so much.